Thank you. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has led his nation in marking the 70th anniversary of the country's independence from Britain. The division of colonial India in 1947 to two states, India and Pakistan, led to sectarian violence between Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs. Up to 1 million people were killed. The partition resulted in the movement of around 12 million people. It was one of the largest migrations ever seen. Many Muslims fled east and west out of Hindu-dominated India, and millions of Hindus and Sikhs headed the other way. Rita Chakrabarti is in India tonight at the Golden Temple in Amritsar. Rita.
Sophie, this is the holiest site in the Sikh religion. It stands in the state of Punjab, which was horribly affected by the horrors of partition 70 years ago. As it reflects on its anniversary, India has much to think about on its past and on its present. Modern-day India has a huge and young population and a burgeoning economy. But it's also recently seen a spike in religious violence directed mainly at Muslims, as our South Asia correspondent Justin Rolat has been finding out. And a warning, his report does contain some distressing footage.
This is a day of celebration for India. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi talked of the country's successes, its growing economy, its efforts to tackle corruption and his vision for a secure, developed nation with equal opportunities for all. He knows that there are challenges. He made a point of speaking out against hate crimes.
In the name of religion, some people in this country commit crimes. This is the land of Gandhi and Buddha, and violence in the name of faith will not be tolerated.
He is talking about India's tiny minority of Hindu extremists, people like this man. Modi is a Hindu nationalist, and tensions have been growing between the country's Hindu majority and its large Muslim minority. At the centre of the controversy is the slaughter of cows for meat. Muslims eat beef, but the cow is a sacred animal in Hinduism, regarded as a mother figure.
If I find someone killing my mother cow, I won't hesitate to kill him. I don't need the police or the authorities. I will give him punishment. I'm the court, I give the verdict.
Vijay Kant is so passionate about protecting the cow, he and his supporters take to the streets. So they've been told they've got no permission to stop vehicles, but they're stopping them anyway, stopping these lorries to see if they're carrying any cows.
I have information that they are smuggling cows in a truck like this.
Cow vigilantes have been increasingly active across the country since Modi took power, and there have been murders. This Muslim man was accused of illegally transporting cows for slaughter by a different group of vigilantes. They beat him to death. Avoiding communal conflict is crucial for India. This new bridge is just one of scores of major new infrastructure projects. The country's doing well, the fastest growing large economy in the world. So here is the government's dilemma. It wants to keep its hardline Hindu supporters on side, but at the same time knows economic success depends on the country remaining peaceful.
This is made in India.
Made in India. With tensions between Hindus and Muslims running high, that could be quite a challenge. Justin Rolat, BBC News, Uttar Pradesh.
Well, this city lies right on the border with Pakistan, and as India has been celebrating its 70th anniversary, the country is starting to address publicly its brutal and bloody beginning when it was effectively cut in two. It was a difficult start, as I've been finding out, for India's founding fathers and for its first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. One of a tiny number of transport links between neighbours. This train operates just twice a week, taking Indians over the border and bringing Pakistanis here to the outskirts of Amritsar. But it's a journey very few make because of decades of mistrust between the two countries, which started with the horrors of partition. Amritsar is becoming a centre of remembrance. This week, India is launching the first ever partition museum here, recording the acts of violence and bravery of that time.
People actually haven't spoken much about partition in the past, which is a real tragedy. And the reason being that I think that generation, when they came across, A, they were traumatized, and B, because they were so busy setting up their own lives because they had lost everything.
We made a tryst with destiny.
But as the newly independent state of India was born, its first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, was full of optimism and hope.
At the stroke of the midnight, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
His vision was of a democratic, secular state in which poverty and inequality were gradually reduced. Amalak Swani was 17 at the time. She lived through the horrors and only narrowly escaped with her life, hidden in a fruit truck and disguised in a burqa. Now 87, she's been recording her memories for her grandson Rishi and also reflecting on modern India and Nehru's legacy.
All
the dreams that he showed us, they've not been fulfilled. We thought that after independence, all sorts of things would happen. We are still better off, but there are many poor people. There is still so much poverty in India.
There has been major economic growth in India, but Nehru's vision of a more equal society hasn't happened yet. And one thing endures, the political mistrust between India and Pakistan, a hostility that some born many years after partition can't understand.
We are the same people. We probably eat similar food, we speak in a similar tongue. We might just worship different gods, but that doesn't make us any different.
But he's never been to Pakistan, which is less than 20 miles away. The border between the two countries is real and psychological. Partition is both history and ever-present. It's very difficult for Indians to go to Pakistan and vice versa. There are very few crossings over the border and very few people use them. The continuing political hostility between the states of India and Pakistan inevitably affect personal relations. People may have friendly feelings towards each other, but as for the states themselves, 70 years after partition, well, they're still as far apart as ever. Back to you, Sophie.
Rita Chakrabarti, thank you.